below World and people at Casa Grande. This is day one of something that's, I think you're going to find is very good. What I'm going to do briefly is tell you what we're going to be doing here and why we're going to be doing it and how we're going to be doing it. And I think what you're going to find is that this is really a great opportunity. Works better when you look at me. Okay, get some more real. Just so you know, this is being broadcast live for the whole world. Okay, you're not going to be on it. You're not on it. You can't be on it.
Why not?
But it's important because you're going to want to remember this stuff. So we record it because what we have a problem with is remembering things. And that's what we're going to do. Now, where are we going with this class? Where we're going is to get you good jobs, to get you good employment. So where have you worked before? What was your last good position?
Taxi.
Taxi?
Casino porter.
Casino porter?
Tyler Marvel.
Marvel?
Yeah, Tyler Marvel Company.
Okay.
I was just a manager at 2 cell phone companies, giving out the free Obama phones.
Okay.
Supervisor at McCarran Airport.
Okay, good. So this is to get you good employment, stable and meaningful employment. So when you leave and you're out of here, you have money, but more than that, you have skills that are going to be needed for tomorrow, for today's jobs and tomorrow.
This will help us get job backs.
Job.
My taxi.
Well, yeah, I don't know about what the rules are if you have a felony.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
there's
about that.
companies out there that will hire felons.
Okay. This is going to help you. So where we're going, the purpose of being here every day is to help you get employment, good employment. And the reality in the world today is, if you want to have good employment, you have to have what?
The skills.
You have to have skills. You have to have marketable skills. You know, we are very supportive of the state of Nevada Department of Corrections, and we've been doing this for 2.5 years, but outside. People got to leave here and go to Larson on the outside. And you have that opportunity unless we help you get a good job before that. But you have the opportunity to go to Larson out of here. We'll be in the Neonopolis. We'll be back in the Neonopolis downtown. But our purpose here, where we're going here, is to give you the skills that you need to get jobs today. Good jobs, not unskilled jobs, skilled jobs. Because unskilled jobs are going to go away. If anybody here parked cars at a casino, that used to be a good business. Taxi cabs used to be a good business. Guess what? In 10 years, self-driving cars are going to be here. Uber, all of these people are working on self-driving cars. Do you think there's going to be a big need for cab drivers? Why not?
Well, because Uber and Lyft are coming in.
Huh?
I mean, yeah, Uber and Lyft is a taxi, but
no, but when self-driving cars come in,
oh,
what do you say, Kelly?
no.
Oh, absolutely, there ain't gonna be no jobs.
Why?
Because they don't need you.
Why not?
They don't need humans.
Right, because the cars are self-driving.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have an app on your phone. How long does it take to get a ride on Uber?
What, 10 minutes?
4 minutes. 4 minutes. You put a thing on your cell phone, 4 minutes, the car comes to you. There's a driver in it. They're already working on getting rid of the driver, having self-driving cars.
Yeah, I've seen that on
Okay.
Uber car, the self-driving one.
Yeah, okay.
They even have
So-
self-driving rigs.
They do, you're right. In Europe, that's really the direction they're going in Europe, is commercial vehicles. So where we're going is to give you the skills so that you can get the good jobs for the future. Because here's an important statistic. 50% of the jobs that are going to exist in 20 years do not exist today. You can't go get that job today, it doesn't exist. Half of the jobs 20 years from now, you cannot get that job today. Here's an example. How many people have had a smartphone? Okay. How many of you had a smartphone 10 years ago? 0, because they didn't exist. The iPhone came out 8 years ago or 9 years ago. Nobody had one. When you're out there now, when you start getting on a bus and driving around, you're going to see people just looking at their smartphone. 10 years ago, not one person in the world did that. Now people are doing it everywhere. In the future,
That's part of the norm.
it's part of the norm now. So we need to help, our purpose, the purpose of Larson, is to give you the skills so you can get employment. And our program is going to work two ways. In the afternoon, you're going to do your employment planning workshop. And what you've done so far is good, but that's sort of like when you start in school, what kind of math do you do when you're in the first grade? What is it called?
Basic math.
Okay, and what do you do?
2 plus 2.
Yeah, you do addition, subtraction, right? Then what do you get to do next?
English.
Division, multiplication, then what? Fractions, decimals, okay, percentages, and you keep going up. So the good thing that Casa Grande has done is they, unlike other places, help get you the basic skills, the reading, the arithmetic, the subtraction and addition skills, so you can go out and try to get a job. Well, now you're in college. Okay, we're fast forwarding from elementary school to college regarding placement. And it's a whole different ballgame. You get an opportunity to have a whole different ballgame. It's not just going to be out there getting your fishing rod, throwing it out there and seeing who's going to bite because of your resume. This is now you're going to go out there with a sniper rifle, find your prey, and get them. That's what we're going to be doing in the afternoons. In the mornings, we're going to be learning the skills that we need to know. What is one skill that we need to know to work tomorrow for jobs out there in the real world? What's one example?
Reading.
Okay, reading. We're going to do reading. We're going to do Brainrush. Okay, reading, writing, and math. We're going to do. We're going to get back in the habit of doing that. Believe it or not, most people in prison operate at a third grade level reading, writing, and math. It's not a reflection on the people, it's a reflection on the system. Okay? So are you going to have an advantage if you get up to 8th grade, 9th grade reading, writing, and arithmetic, and everybody else is at 3rd grade? Absolutely. If you want to take your GED, we can arrange for that. But one thing you're going to be doing in here is you're going to be taking college classes at colleges. So I'll give you one example here. Everybody's going to be signed up for something called Coursera. You see that up there? Coursera?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is learning how to learn. Oh, this class that we're going to take. Hopefully we'll have your email addresses and you'll get signed up for this today. Learning how to learn. This is taught by UC San Diego. Good school. UC San Diego, University of California, San Diego. They have more Nobel Prize winners working at UCSD than any other California school, university. So you're going to be taking a class in learning how to learn. It's going to explain how our brains work and what we need to do to be efficient. Because one thing that happens when you get older, it's harder to learn. Anybody have kids in here? Okay. Anybody have young kids? Okay. So young kids, what are they more like when it comes to learning? Sponges or bricks?
Sponges.
Sponges, yeah. The problem you have as a parent with children is they think that things are true that aren't true. They don't even make any sense. My daughter, who's now in the 7th grade, when she was in the 5th grade, came home from school one day saying the boy that sits next to her, his dad, is the president of the CIA. And I said, Sophie, no, it's not. First of all, there is no president of the CIA. And if it was, he wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be going to school. He wouldn't be living here. This kid wouldn't be going here. So the problem with kids is they're like sponges. The challenge with adults is we are like bricks. We have a lot of beliefs already built in about what is true. And if something comes along that doesn't fit into what we think is true, our first response is to do what?
Throw it out.
Yeah, reject it. Okay? The other problem is we've gotten out of the habit of using our brain to remember stuff.
Thanks to that. Thanks to Bill Gates and Steve Jobs.
Well, no, we don't remember stuff anymore. When you remember in the days before smartphones, if you wanted to get around, and you're driving in a car, how did you figure out how to get to where you needed to go?
A map.
You had a map, right? What did you say, Kelly? You had a map, right? There's things that folded funny ways, right? You could never fold them back.
Right.
Okay, and you buy them at a gas station, wherever. And then they had other ones that were the Thomas Guide, which were for salespeople. That was a book. Cab drivers had them too, right? Now nobody buys those anymore. The thing is, nobody can figure out how to get anywhere anymore because it's so easy to just get on your smartphone and say, okay, Google, directions to Hetza Petza. And it tells you exactly what to do, and all you need to do is follow orders. We get out of the habit of learning to think and use our brains. It's just like if we used to go to the gym and we stop going to the gym, and then we go back to the gym, are we in the same condition we were in? No, we're not. So that's what happens with our brain. So a lot of what we're going to be doing is exercising our brain again. Okay, so Joseph, the Three Little Pigs. I know that you know it. Let's hear it.
Three Little Pigs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't remember it?
No.
Three Little Pigs. Three Little Pigs. One pig
Went to the farm.
had a house of wood.
Okay.
Big
This
back
little
wood.
pig. So you kind of remember it. Everybody kind of remembers it, but we don't remember it the right way. And what we'll do maybe tomorrow, because I don't have the book with me, but what you're going to see is I'm going to say, okay, Three Little Pigs. I'm going to read it once or twice, and everybody's going to say, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, but you know what? What you remembered isn't the right way. It's not we all the way home. He cried we all the way home, right? Everybody remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You? Maybe not. Where'd you grow up?
Brooklyn.
You don't remember the Three Little Pigs?
I remember, but it's been a long time.
So what we'll say is, and this little pig cried we all the way home. Does anybody remember that now? It's not coming back?
I remember a brick house.
No.
Huh?
I remember the last one had a brick house.
I think the fox was trying to blow
No, that was the
pig's
different
house or
one.
something.
Another different one?
Yeah, that was the one with the
Fox
bull.
trying
Yeah,
to blow,
blow the house down.
My house down, yeah.
This little pig went to market, this little pig stayed home, this little pig had roast beef, this little pig had none. And this little pig cried we all the way home. Okay, but it's not really that way. It's we, I can't find my way home. Now, when you're at Larson out there on Fridays, everybody has to do memorization. You have to recite. Maybe we'll watch some a little bit later. You remember how you learned it when you were 2, but when you have to learn it how it actually is right now, it's really hard. It's easier to remember something that you learned when you were 2 years old than it is 10 minutes ago. Because our brains become fixed and they're like bricks. So what we have to do for you to get the skills that you need to do is we have to get our brains back in shape.
Turn it back to response.
Yeah, and that's what this Coursera class at UC San Diego is all about, learning how to learn. So it goes through how our brains work. So where are we going? Where are we going? Who remembers? Where are we going with this class? Employment. Okay, the purpose of you being here is to get you good jobs while you're at Casa Grande and when you leave. That's the purpose. That's the only reason you're here. And as soon as you get the job, you don't need to be here. Because Larson gets graded on placement, not learning. The state of Nevada doesn't care if you learn anything from Larson. What they care about is, did we help you get a good job? Okay? Now, before, for the last 2.5 years, our focus was on teaching you things and giving you the skills so you could go do things, get a good job. We're changing the curriculum. The curriculum now is in the morning, it's learning skills. In the afternoon, it's employment planning workshop. And as soon as you get a job, you're gone. Now, when you get out, if you want to go back to Larson and get your degree or certificate, you can do that too. And you probably should, because our focus right now is just to get you level of skills that you need to get the position that you want to get right now. If you just want to be a janitor at Walmart, as soon as you have the skills to become a janitor at Walmart, which will be proven by the fact that you got a job as a janitor at Walmart, then you're gone and you go forward. At some point in the future, you probably would say something like, you know what, I think I can do more than be a janitor at Walmart, but I need to have more, what? More skills. And our curriculum here is designed so that you can take it elsewhere. Now, so I've been doing this for a while. Larson's been teaching in California since 1989. School in California's been there since 1989. We came here in 2012. We started in 2013. We're down in Tony Hsieh's Learning Village, downtown near the Western Hotel, Fremont and 7th for 2.5 years. Then we went up to Nevada Partners in North Las Vegas. And now we're moving back down to Indianapolis. We're going to be opening a campus inside of CCDC. What's that? Yeah, CCDC in July. They get it that if you don't want people to come back to jail, the best way to do it is if they have a job. But you have to have what are called hard skills. So for example, you could have a great resume. You could have a nice suit. You could have practiced for 10 hours or 10 days with somebody. You walk in the interview, DeAndre, you walk into that interview and they say, great, what is your typing speed?
100 words per minute.
Is it? I doubt it.
Me too.
I doubt that it's even half of that. We'll find out because we're going to do typing. But what's your typing speed?
60, 70 words per minute.
I doubt it. Okay. Okay, good. How about you?
No.
Okay, good. So if you go in and say 10, does it matter how good your resume is?
No.
Does it matter how nice your clothes are?
No.
No. Why not?
Because they want a percentage of time.
Because they need you to be able to type. And guess what? You can't get a job in the warehouse at Zappos if you can't type. And almost every other warehouse, Amazon, any place like that, you need to know how to do things. You want to know how to, one of the things we teach in typing is 10 key. Spend half an hour a day off campus learning 10 key, because if you want to work in retail, what do you need to know how to use?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, so our purpose, the reason we're here, where we're going, is to give you the skills that you need to get stable and meaningful employment. And as soon as you have that, you're gone. We have testing every Friday. So the way it works here is you will all be issued email accounts. The passwords will be given to Lieutenant Scally. He distributes them to whoever he does. Cannot change. If you change the password, that's a one-way immediate ticket to Southern Desert or High Desert, yes. You cannot change your password. You have to expect that they will be looking at every email that you're getting and sending. So do not do anything that you're not supposed to do. It's very simple. Just don't do things that you're not supposed to do. You can't function in the real world if you don't have an email account. Things that we teach you, you need to have a Gmail account. So don't abuse it. You don't do Facebooking here, so there's no reason anybody should ever be on Facebook. Okay? So where we're going is employment. And I keep repeating because when I come back later and I ask you the question, I'm not going to remember because we're not used to remembering stuff. But the number one key to success is remembering stuff. That's the number one key. In fact, what do you think the difference is between a good student and a not good student?
One that listens.
Well, not really.
Remember saying?
Yeah. The difference between an A student and an F student is just that the A student remembers more. Okay, why do they remember more? Because they pay attention, and it goes into their brain. It doesn't go in and out. They remember stuff. What's another reason people are A students?
They study.
They study, and they practice, and they go over it. They don't just do it to the minimum. So one of the standards we have here is amateurs practice till they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. Anybody here like sports? Okay. What's the difference between a professional athlete and an amateur athlete?
One get paid and one don't,
Well, that's true. But why do they want to pay them?
because they're good at what they do.
Yeah, and how do they get good?
Practice.
Practice. So there's this thing called the 10,000 hour rule. That if you want to be an expert at something, you need to spend 10,000 hours doing it. Now let's just break that down. If you work 40 hours a week and you just did one thing, how many hours is that in a year? Say 40 times 50. What's 40 times 5?
40 times 5 is 200.
40 times 5 is 200. Okay, now but add another 0 because it's 40 times 50. So 2,000. 2,000 hours a year. If the only thing you did 40 hours a week, if you only did one thing 40 hours a week, how many years would it take you to get 10,000 hours? 5, exactly. It would take you 5 years if the only thing you did was that, but nobody just does that. Let's say you spent 25% of your time. How many years would it take? If you spent a quarter of your time, 10 hours a week to become an expert. 20 years. It would take 20 years to become an expert at something. Okay? Few adults can spend 40 hours just learning to do a thing. Okay? You have an opportunity here that you can focus on learning the skills that you need, because you know when you get out, it's a whole different ballgame. Life moves really fast. So one of the reasons Lieutenant Scally and the Department of Corrections wanted to bring it in here is to encourage people in your off time to study. And if you have to spend 2 hours a day getting to school and 2 hours a day getting back, what are you not going to do when you get back here? You're not going to study. Okay? Because, for a lot of reasons. One is you left at 6 and you got back at 6. 12 hours of being out there in a fast-paced world, a lot of things happening. You're just mentally tired. Another thing is we push you to learn as much as you can. And then when you get back, you talk about stuff with guys about what was going on out there and what happened on the bus and stuff like that. So that's where we're going. Where are we going, Mohammed?
Forward.
Employment. That's where we're going. The purpose here, where we are going here, is to help you get good jobs, to get the skills you need for good jobs. Why? Why?
To me, our employment.
But why?
To get a better job,
Why would the state of Nevada want you to get good
not to
employment?
come back to jail.
Exactly. Okay. Here's the fact: 95% of the people who go to prison come out alive. 95%. So it used to be that the purpose of prison was punishment. You broke a law of society. You had your opportunity to explain it, and you now have to go to prison to be, to make things right. Okay, that was the idea 1,000 years ago. That's not how it works now, right? You're not welcome back into society when you get out, right? And what did they used to do in the Pilgrim days if you broke a law of the community? Stone you. Well, if they didn't want to kill you, because they needed you as labor. No, they had those stockades. Remember that? You've seen the movies where you put your head through and your arms through in the town square, and you have to be there for like a week, 2 or 3 days, whatever, depending upon the crime. You can't get out. People can throw rotten food at you. But you know what? When it's over, it's over. You come back, you learned your lesson, we need you. And people would decide, if I do it, I'm going to get caught. And if I get caught, I'm going to be in the stockade. I'm going to be out there, people are going to ridicule me. I'd rather not do that. And so, but today it's a different ballgame. Except the ballgame's gotten so bad today that people can't break the chains of recidivism. You get out, you don't have a support group, you're hungry, you used your voucher, now what? What do you do now?
revert back to the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, because what are we gonna do? You know, as Lawrence Weekly, the commissioner, one of the county commissioners here told me, his belief, his understanding, his experience in life is that if you're out there, you're hungry and starving, and you see money inside a car, a little coin dish that has money in it, you break into the car not because you want to steal, because you want to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're not like plants, you know, that if we don't water them, they die. We're more like cockroaches. We're going to find a way. If somebody's not going to give us something, we're going to find a way, because we are not just going to wither up and die. So, you know, why am I here? So why are we doing it? We're doing it because the people at the state of Nevada Department of Corrections say, you know what? We don't want to be like other states. We don't want to have a revolving door where we let them out, but they're on a leash, and we yank them back in. Because it's too expensive for the state. We don't have money to do that. And these people get out and they come back to our communities. And we'd rather have good communities than bad communities. And the state is small. It's not like California. I grew up in California, in the Bay Area. Is anybody here from California? Where? Yeah. LA? What part? Compton. Okay.
Ventura County.
Ventura. Okay. So I'm from Northern California. And, you know, there's millions and millions of people. You get out of prison, you go to a place nobody sees you. Here, it's a small community. So the idea is we don't want these people coming back to prison. And the way they're not going to come back to prison is if they get stable and meaningful employment. Not just employment that's stable. Being a janitor at Walmart, is that stable?
No.
It's not stable? I think it's stable. Is Walmart going to go out of business? Well, maybe it's not, because they laid off a lot of people.
They already closed their stores.
Yeah, okay, so maybe that's not a good example, but Walmart used to be stable, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if you were if you were a janitor at Walmart, you didn't have to worry if you did your job, right?
Nope.
Okay? But even them, even Walmart is being affected by things. So stable employment is not enough. And at Larson, we don't get people to stable employment. There are other places, Hope for Prisoners. They just try to get you stable, unskilled employment. Well, the problem with that is, one day you wake up and you say, you know what, I'm not really proud about what I do. I'm kind of stuck though, because I don't have any other skills. This isn't the life I thought I was going to have when I was 7 years old. I didn't think I was going to be a janitor at Walmart. I thought I was going to be an astronaut. Meaningful work, is being a sculptor meaningful? Not a good question. Being a sculptor, chiseling things in marble, is that meaningful?
No. Yeah.
Which?
It
It is meaningful. Okay? Not really usually when people are alive. You know, their stuff becomes more valuable later, 2,000 years later, 1,000 years, 100 years later. Being a sculptor is meaningful, but it's not really stable, right? That's why a lot of people don't go do it, because you might not make any money while you're alive. We don't do that. We do stable and meaningful. And the type of jobs that we train you for, the skills that we train you for, are skills that every business needs. Every business needs. So all businesses, if you have paper, you should write this down. But let's see if it's on there. Okay, we can kind of see it here. All businesses have 4 parts. There's 4 divisions in every business. So one division is called admin. Another one is called operations. Another one is sales and marketing. And then the 4th one is finance. And finance is not accounting, they're different. My undergraduate degree was at a good school in California, and it was in finance. And at a good school in California, it starts with, in finance class, day 1 starts with, what is money? Because finance is about getting money. What do you do with money? Accounting is keeping track of money. We don't do finance at Larson. We just don't do it. Okay? We don't do that. But that's, all businesses have people that are involved in finance. We need money to expand our business, make payroll, do this. We need to borrow money. We have too much money. Apple has a cash flow problem. Apple Computer. You know what their cash flow problem is? They have too much money. They don't know what to do with it. They just keep accumulating and have billions and billions of dollars cash.
Good thing, I guess.
Well, so the reason the stock market is going up, one reason the stock market is going up and everybody else's life is going down, is because when you're Apple and you have a lot of money, you buy stock in other companies. And what happens when you buy stock in those companies? The price goes up. Okay, supply and demand. Oh, somebody wants to buy our stock, it's valuable, good. Price will go up. So the stock market's going up because these big companies are accumulating cash and they're buying stock from people who own those companies, and that gets the price going up. But in 2000, or let's say 2008, the stock market crashed. Okay, so we don't do finance. But every business has people that do finance, because you have to stay in business. What's admin?
Administration,
Yeah, what is it? What does that include?
hiring,
Okay, HR. What else?
Resolution.
Huh?
Resolution.
What's resolution? What do you mean, like with employees?
Resources.
Okay.
Resources.
So that's here. How about accounting? Accounting is here. Professional, like your lawyer. People in administration do things to keep the business running. So if we own a pizza parlor, what do the administrative people do?
Control the money, payroll, everything.
Yeah, they make sure the business runs, right? What do the operations people do in a pizza parlor?
Make sure it's, make sure everybody's there on time.
That's what the HR people and management people do. What do the operations people do in a pizza parlor? What are the operations of a pizza parlor?
They got all the supplies and all that, make sure it runs.
The operations people are people who make the pizzas. Okay, that's operations. If I say we have a cab company, what's the operations in a cab company?
taxi cab driver.
Yeah, the cab drivers. At a tile company, what are the operations?
The layers.
The little people.
The people that put in the tile.
What did you do? You
Yeah, I
install
cut
tile, cut tile,
Cut tile.
commercial jobs or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seen them?
So operations is what the business does. This is different with every company. So you have a resume. Let's say you wanted to work in a fast food restaurant. Let's say you wanted to get a job in a hamburger fast food restaurant. So let's say you did research and you went to McDonald's and you went to Five Guys. Do you think on their websites they describe themselves the same way?
No.
No. Five Guys talks about the quality of the beef, the quality of the potatoes, what their thing is about. It's not the same as McDonald's.
More, it's better.
Well, people like it better, but some people say, I don't want to spend the money for Five Guys. I just want to get in and out. I don't want a hamburger that's good. I want to make sure I get a hamburger that's not bad. That's the McDonald's thing. So why would you use the same resume to get a job at Five Guys as you would McDonald's?
Good question.
Okay, that's just getting, if you want to get a job at a hamburger place. Let's say you want to get a job at a tile place or a hamburger place. Why would you use the same resume?
Right.
Now let's say you go in your interview. Remember this. If you can write it down because you won't remember unless you do something internally to remember this. You never start a relationship out on a lie. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Never start a relationship out on a lie?
I agree.
Okay. But what do people do when they get in a job interview?
They lie.
They lie. Okay. You start your relationship out on a lie. So if they say to you, where else are you looking? Say you're at the tile company, and you just went to get a job at 7-Eleven. What do you think they're going to think if you say, well, I just applied at 7-Eleven? No, let's say you did. Say you tell the truth. I just came from 7-Eleven, I applied for a job there too.
I mean, it's multiple things they could do. They tell them I'm looking for a job, and look to see be employed.
They don't care about that. That's your problem. Okay? This is why you're now in the college employment planning program. Because these are things important. Anybody here play poker, cards, chess, checkers, any games where you're competing against other people? Okay. One of the best strategies if you know what's going on in their mind, right? You said chess, right?
Yes.
Can you lose at chess if you could read that person's mind?
No.
Why not?
Because you know what they're going to do.
Exactly. You know exactly what they're going to do. The same thing applies when you're in a job interview or when you're dealing with a customer at work or anything in life. If I can read your mind, I have control over you. Okay? These are things that we should all know by this stage. This is what you should learn in the first grade. Okay? Instead, we don't care. I don't care what's going on in your mind. This is how we act. I don't care what's going on in your mind. I want you to care about what's going on in my mind. I want you to hire me because I want a job. Right?
Right.
Okay. I don't care about what you need. This is an employer. I don't care about what you need. I don't care about what you want. I get paid by my boss to care about what he wants. Now, if you know that, is that going to help you? If you understand that the guy interviewing you cares about his boss, what his boss wants, so you have to answer the questions that his boss wants. So you don't start a relationship out on line. I'll tell you, if you go into an interview and they say, hey, are you really serious about getting a job? What do you say?
Yeah.
If it's true, right? Because you don't want to start off on what? A lie. You don't want to start off on a lie. So if it's true, yeah, I'm serious about getting a job. Great. Now your a little alarm bell should be going off. Uh-oh, warning, warning. Seems like I'm getting set up here. Okay, great. Great. You're serious about getting a job. Okay, if you're serious, where else are you? How many jobs are you looking for?
3.
You're really serious. He's looking for 3 jobs.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm just go with be truthful of what you would say.
Right.
You're serious about getting a job?
Yeah.
Okay. How many jobs have you looked? Let's pretend that you've been looking for 2 weeks. How many jobs have you gone, how many applications have you put in?
15.
Okay. Now, transport yourself into that guy's brain. You're sitting in front of him. You say you've gone to 15 places, and you're still sitting here. What does that tell me?
Nobody wants you.
Yeah, okay. That's probably what it tells me. Why is this guy here? This guy, I don't, can 15 people be wrong? Okay? But I don't say that to you. I just keep that to myself. I say, cool. What kind of place are you looking at?
Warehousing.
What else?
Sales and marketing.
Okay, what else? You're probably looking for any place because here the pressure is get a job, right? Okay. So you might say warehousing, sales, refinery oil, shoreline, gas station. You might have a whole spectrum of things, right? And he says, cool. What's he really thinking?
If you really don't want to work.
Well, you don't want to work for us. You just want a job.
Right.
Who do I want to hire?
Somebody that would work for them.
Someone wants to work for my company. That's who I want to hire. Not just somebody who wants a job. Yeah, I'd like to help out the prison thing. I want to do my part. But you know what? Unless my boss tells me to hire somebody who doesn't really care about working here, I'm gonna hire somebody who I think cares about working here. Because if that guy makes a mistake and I'm asked, well, why did you hire him? It's because the guy really wants to work here, he just made an honest mistake. As let's say, as opposed to, I don't think you really want to work here, I'm just trying to help out. I know Lieutenant Scout, and I'm trying to help out get some ex-felons jobs. You screw up, my boss comes to me, what do I say now? Maybe we need to get rid of it. Or tried the experiment, it didn't work. So you don't want to say, first of all, you don't want to lie, but you don't want to say 15 jobs, and you don't want to say this type of job and a different type of job. Because what they're going to get is you don't give a shit about us. You only care about yourself. And I'm paid, my keeping my job depends upon me hiring the right people. So that's why traditionally here, people do get jobs because you have to get a job if you want to be here. But the problem is you don't usually stay in the job when you get out because you don't really like the job. And economically, how much money do you get out of the money you make? What percentage?
45%.
Okay, and then when you get out, what do they give you?
Oh, and here you mean? Yeah.
What do they give you?
30%.
More when you get out?
You get all of it.
Not all of it. You don't get 100%. You got to
Well,
pay
well,
for rent here.
Well,
Yeah,
so
pay
when you
for
leave
food.
this place, yeah, you get all your money.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you get
Oh,
the
like restitution and stuff like that.
No.
No, he's talking about the savings from day one, that, you know, the 10% they take, right?
I don't know what the number is. I don't
Yeah,
remember. but
10%, the plus that, I guess, they take from the check, whatever,
You get
55%.
you get 30% when it's all said and
So
done.
it's 55% altogether.
I think it's 55%
Yeah,
altogether.
45% of the 10% that goes to your saving till you get out. From day one, you know, the family for money, they take whatever, 10%.
Okay, well, whatever. The
Yeah.
point is, if you are working here and you have a job and you get out and you quit that job and you have a little bit of money on your books, it's not really enough to get started. The better strategy is, before you leave here, is to have a job that you're going to want to keep.
Right. Keep it going.
Okay, now, does anybody have going back to the job they have? Are you? Are you? Are you?
Yes, I'm gonna try.
Maybe you want to try a different cab company or the same
Oh,
one?
yeah, Uber, I'm gonna try, if it's now, I'm gonna go to limo, Uber.
Okay,
This is
all right.
there's money in it.
Yeah.
And I got 5 kids, and yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
So what you have to be thinking though is this job is going to disappear in 10 years.
By 10 years, I don't care.
So I want to try to help you to start wanting to care. Okay. That's what I'm going to try to do, to get you to want to care. But I'm supportive of whatever you think is in your best interest.
Yeah, well, in 10 years, I'll have my own business,
Okay.
and then I don't care, that's right.
Good. So now, let's go back and talk just a little bit about, well, who am I? Who's this guy that's coming in here, thinks he knows everything? Because, you know, usually when I'm around, people think or ask, some people have the, you know, the guts to ask, well, why do you think you have the answers? So I usually get asked 2 questions. What do you know about what it's like to be in prison getting a job? Because if you don't really know, then you just have a theory. This is what you're telling me is really a theory, because you haven't really experienced it directly. You know, you're saying never start a relationship out on the line, but if you haven't been in a situation where you're in an interview, and what goes through your mind is, if I tell the truth, I'm screwed. If I take a chance and lie, maybe I won't get caught, or maybe when I do get caught, I can just keep moving forward somehow. Okay, so I got a 7-year term in California for white-collar crime. Now, in California, so it was my first offense. I was 50 when I went to prison. And so I did just under 3.5 years for that, 1,007 days. And the reason I got a 7-year term is because I refused to take a 6-year term, because I said I'm not going to plead guilty to something I didn't do. So they said, okay, well, then we'll let you do this West plea. If you refuse to plead guilty to something you didn't do, we'll let you do this West plea. But you got to take an extra year. So I was stupid, and I did it, because nobody really cares. It's just how long you were in. But when you're, so let's just think about that for a second. If you're guilty of a crime and the DA makes an offer to you, what do you do?
Turn it down first off.
Exactly. You don't take it, you turn it down because you know the game, right? What's the game?
First deal is not always the best deal.
Yeah.
In some cases, not in the Fed. The Fed deals get worse.
Well, because they've gotten, but the best strategy is generally negotiate a better deal. Even in the Feds, you can always negotiate something a little bit better. You can always do a little bit better. So what kind of a person says, no, I'm not going to take that deal because I'm not going to plead guilty to something I didn't do? Somebody who's either really stupid or somebody who has the courage of their convictions, right?
Right.
Okay? And so I say this not to say, hey, guys, I'm just like you. I did things, I knew I shouldn't have done them. I got caught, I did my time. That's not why I say, hey, I know, we always got to try to get over them. And I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm saying it because I spent 1,000 days locked up. I did my first 8 months in county jail in San Diego trying to get to trial. And then one day, got it, every month I had a status conference. My attorney came out after seeing the judge and said, okay, here's what's up. The DA said it's going to cost $1 million and take 10 weeks to do this trial. And the judge said, well, guy's entitled to his day in court, but if he's going to take up 10 weeks in my courtroom and cost the taxpayers $1 million,
Max them out.
I'm going to give him 20 years. This is before any of the facts are out. It's already very, very clear. Now, at that point, what do you think about when your attorney tells you that?
Not gonna work. You gotta take a deal.
Why?
I want that 20 years and try to lose.
What are you thinking about? You're thinking about your attorney. Can he win? You're not thinking about, am I right? You're thinking about, do I want to risk 20 years on my attorney's persuasiveness? And I said, no, I'm not taking that chance, but I'm not going to plead guilty to something I didn't do. So, started out on a Friday morning, went to the gym, got back from the gym, 9 o'clock, knock on the door on a Friday morning. Are you so-and-so? Yeah, okay. We're from the DA's office, you're under arrest. My bail hearing was on Monday. My bail was set at $1.5 million. I had a person in the courtroom to post bail, that bonding company. And the judge said, this guy's too dangerous to be out on the street. I will bring more charges. I'll bring additional charges. Now, what happens to your bail if you have additional charges brought in? You lose what you paid, and then it gets revoked. The bail gets revoked. So I didn't want to waste $80,000 for the bonding company. So they had me. Then I tried to get to trial, and it took 8 months of being in county jail. How long have you guys been in county? Anybody been in 8 months? Okay. Is it fun? Where was that? Here?
Yeah, CCDC.
CCDC? Okay. Not fun, right? Prison's a lot better than jail.
Right about that.
Okay. So 8 months in San Diego. And you can imagine how many cellmates I had in moving cells. It was a constant thing. But then I got prison, took my deal, was able to go to labor camp in California, also known as fire camp, which is better here in a lot of ways. Better clothes, better food, better facilities, make more money. But in California, it's labor camp. It's working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And if you don't like it, that's okay. There's a bus coming on Wednesday because there's 10 guys that want your spot. Is that how fire camp is here? Okay. You don't like it, that's okay. There's 10 guys waiting for your spot. Huh?
That's how this place is.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's how it is. So I did that, I went to fire camp and my time got down to 35%. So from 7 years, which was 3.5 years, I got down to 35%. I did some college stuff, I got down even further. So I did 1,000 in 7 days. Now that's not a long time, but it's enough time to know how bad the system is. And it's enough time to know what it feels like when you get out and you're doing things. Nobody in my family, no brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, parents, nobody in my family has ever gotten arrested. So I didn't really have the support of it wasn't like, oh yeah, well, you know, half of the people in my family have gone to prison, no big deal. It wasn't like that, so it was a big deal, big deal. So I know what it's like when you get out and how people feel about it. The second question I get asked is, well, you know, there's a lot of people that come in here and they tell us how to be successful, but they aren't really successful themselves. That's kind of like amateurs learning from amateurs. And it doesn't mean it's not worthwhile, doesn't mean it's not valuable. It doesn't mean you can't play in the NBA just because you didn't have a good coach. You probably won't play. You have a much better chance of playing in the NBA if you have a good coach, right? You go to a good school. Doesn't mean that you have to do that. There are exceptions. Not the best strategy. The best strategy is to use the best resources you can. So, so who has restitution here? Okay. Nobody else? Two? All right. So I have restitution. So DeAndre, you're pretty good at math, right?
Yes, sir.
Who else is good at math? Okay. Okay. So here's the interest on my restitution. The interest on my restitution, let's pretend I work 40 hours a week. Okay, so the question is, what is my weekly interest on my restitution? I have a 40-hour-a-week job, and my restitution is $1,000 an hour. How much is that per week?
It's 168 hours in a week.
No, it's 40. I work 40 hours.
40 hours? Oh, okay.
Okay, so what's that?
40,000.
40,000 a week. Now, how much is that per year? If I get 2 weeks off, so let's just say it's 50 weeks. So what's 40,000 times 50?
200,000?
No.
2 million.
2 million. The interest on my restitution is $2 million a year. That's just the interest on my restitution. Okay, so I don't say that to brag. I say that because I think if you think about it for a couple seconds, you can't really be stupid and get restitution that high. You have to be pretty smart. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Get restitution that high, you have to be pretty smart. Okay. So I went to a good undergraduate school in California, in Santa Clara. Went to the same school that the governor of California went to, Jerry Brown. The same school that the lieutenant governor, Lieutenant Gavin Newsom, went to school. Santa Clara. Same school that the former head of Homeland Security's Janet Napolitano. Anybody ever hear of her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She was in my class. Her dad went to Santa Clara with my dad. Her dad went to high school in Oakland with my dad. The same school that Leon Panetta, who was head of the CIA before, went to. This little tiny school that has a disproportionate number of people that end up in really good things. So I only say that because I have a good undergraduate education in finance. And I got accused of securities fraud. Finance, right? What is money? Finance. I also have a law degree. So I went to law school, got my law degree in San Diego. So, you know, one of the things I want you to feel confident about is if I tell you something, it's not a theory. Okay? It's reality. And if you were at UNLV, you would not have a better education than you're going to get here. You would not have better instructors. You would not have a better curriculum. You would not have a better learning environment. You would not have any of that. So I want you to feel safe and secure that I know what I'm talking about, that Larson knows what it's talking about. And you have to start from a mindset that if you knew what was best for you, you probably wouldn't be here, right?
How about that?
What's the definition of insanity?
Keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Exactly, okay? So what I want you to do is just have an open mind that if you hear me say something that you don't think is right, don't reject it out of hand. Question it. Huh. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't feel right. But you know what? A lot of the things that I think are right, I find out later are not right. That's going to be an important part. And another thing then is, once you think about it for a second and you can frame a good question, then you should ask the question. Huh, it doesn't seem like what you're saying is right. And here, you know, this again, this is job preparation. So my name here for you is just director. Okay, this is like work. It's not pal and, you know, just call me director because that will get you a good habit regarding work skills. And by the way, here's another thing. When you start work on Monday and your supervisor or your coworkers say to you, how was your weekend? What do you say?
Good, thank you, sir.
What do you say?
It was
Now
fine.
you say, well, it can't be good.
It was fine.
No,
It's,
no,
How was your weekend?
no,
It's too close to Monday.
no. So the best thing to say is too long. It's too long. And you can chuckle. 'Cause what is now that guy thinking? Because again, this is about getting in their brain.
Just telling him that you really want to get back to work.
Yeah, so you wanna work.
Really? Too long? You know, because if somebody hears that and it sinks in, they might say, really? Yeah, I like working here. Move on. Or too long, chuckle. Oh, clever, good answer. I like it. Okay?
Smart, that is so smart.
Huh?
That is smart.
It's the little things. It's the little things. It's about mental jujitsu of figuring out what's on in your mind. Has anybody's ever been interviewed by cops?
Yeah, of course.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. I never was. I never was. And my office got raided by the FBI, but I was never interviewed. But when I see these shows about, you know, these guys are trained to interrogate you. They're trained to figure out what's going on in your mind. Doesn't it make sense that you start thinking about what's going on in somebody else's mind?
Yeah.
Okay, but our default mode is, I only care what's going on in my mind, and I want you to care what's going on in my mind. Well, if I want you to care what's going on in my mind, the best strategy would be to read your mind. So I got to figure out what buttons to push in your brain so you care about me, right? Is that what you do in chess when you do some, well, I'm going to move over here because I'm going to think, I want them to think I'm not paying attention,
Kinda good, yeah.
right? How about poker? Bluffing?
Mm-hmm.
Is what's the skill, what's the strategy in poker?
Never let him read you.
Yeah. And what are you trying to do?
Read him.
That's jobs, that's work. It doesn't turn off. So, so we go on a business type approach here. Just refer to me as director. Now, what good employers like, so if I said, if you hear me say something and you don't think it's right, don't be one of the people who think it's their job to argue. And you'll see, when this place fills up, there's always going to be somebody whose ego is such that they have to be the person to they want attention. It's basically what it is. They want attention. And well, I don't agree with that. one of the pet peeves I have, just in terms of getting people to control your emotions, is religion. Because there's some people you can't talk about religion without them getting very upset. You just mention Jesus, wow. People start getting ready to fight. Okay, so so you hear me say something that doesn't feel right to you, don't reject it out of hand, because you're rejecting learning stuff. Think about it, and then frame a good question. Well, let me ask you this, and that's a good way to start. Let me ask you this question. When you're in a job interview, you want to go in, before you walk in the door, you want to have certain things in mind that you want to accomplish. One of them is you say, okay, I got to ask 3 good questions. And a good way to start the question is, well, let me ask you this question. Okay, so you get in the habit in here, you hear me say something you don't agree with, don't just knee-jerk reaction, well, I don't agree with that. Because I went to law school, so I'm trained to be a good arguer. I'm trained to be persuasive. That's what law school is about, right? You have an attorney, what's he fundamentally trying to do? Persuade the jury that his story is the correct story. So, but we can do that, we will do that. You'll see some people that will just have to keep talking, and we'll just go down that path. But the best thing to do is say, let me ask you this question. Because good employees ask good questions. Good employees ask good questions. When supervisors have a group meeting, they don't want people who don't ask questions, because what don't they know? If you're not asking a question, what don't I know? I don't know if you're paying attention, right? You're looking at me, you're nodding your head, but I don't know if you hear anything I hear. But if you ask a question, what do I know?
That you're listening.
Yeah, that something's going on, that you're paying attention. And when I'm thinking of who are the good employees, when my boss says to me, who do you have that's good?
Person that's listening to you.
The people that do. So I'm not discouraging asking questions. What I'm discouraging you is, don't just have a knee-jerk, non-thinking question. Because we've all been around people who ask dumb questions, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what happens to those people? Not good.
Yeah.
Not good, right? Not good. Might not be bad, but it's not good. So we're going to take a break in 5 minutes. Our course at Larson, outside, we start at the hour, so 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever, and we go 50 minutes, and then we break. I don't know the lay of the land here yet, so I don't know if we take a break. I don't know where you guys can go. But when we get to that Coursera thing on here, you're going to find that for your brain to learn stuff, it's like watering a plant, right? If it needs a gallon of water over a week, you don't just give it a gallon of water right in the beginning, right? You don't say, well, a gallon of water a week, I'll save time for myself. I'm just going to pour a gallon of water on this plant, right? That doesn't work. And so it's the same thing with learning. To get knowledge in, you have to give it, let it sink in. More knowledge, let it sink in. More knowledge, let it sink in. That's what you have to do. So probably when we come back, we're going to get set up doing typing. And we're going to see if you can do 100. You can do 60.
200.
No. The school record is 120. Yeah. And so we'll see what you can do. And we'll probably watch a video. We might do something called Brainrush, reading, writing, math. But the idea is in the mornings, what you do is learn skills. In the afternoon, you work on your employment planning. So I just want to quickly go through the employment planning workshop right now. Let me go back to this. Let me just finish with this quickly. So at Larson, we don't teach people to do this, and we don't teach people to do this. What you learn at Larson is administration skills. So that could be HR, accounting, professional stuff, just running the business.
Like management, right?
Management, okay? Most people come from here to become here, as opposed to you here and you don't really know operations. We teach administrative skills, because if you are good here, if you're a good tile setter, it doesn't mean you're a good manager, right? Doesn't mean you want to be a manager. So we teach administrative skills, we teach sales and marketing, and part of this, customer service. You can get a job anywhere. If you know how to go and sell, you can get a job anywhere. You could be the most sleeved, tatted guy in the world, and you can get a job like that. How? Where? Start at a tattoo parlor and say, hey, will you pay me a commission if I bring in sales? What are they going to do? Say no? Are they going to say no?
No.
No, they're not going to say no. But we're afraid to sell. Who likes selling? We all really are selling all the time. We don't know it, but we're really selling ourselves. Why don't we like to sell?
Too complicated, sometimes.
Okay?
Nobody wants to buy it.
We're afraid. Why are we afraid?
To talk and sell?
Why are we afraid?
Afraid of, rejection.
Okay? Why are we afraid of rejection? It's really simple. Why are we afraid of rejection?
We don't want to be rejected.
Why? Why don't we like to be rejected? It's really simple. You're going to think, wow, this is kooky. Here's the reason why. When we were little kids, just learning to walk, mother holding our hand, whatever, when we were little kids, if our mother wanted us to stop doing something, what would she say?
Stop.
Or
Yellow.
no, no. So we learned at a non-conscious level that no means stop. And what do you, when you're selling, what is the word you're afraid of most?
No.
No. Okay? It's not about selling. Kids who grow up in families where their dad is a sales guy, they're taught a stranger is just somebody you haven't met. It's just a friend that you haven't met yet. They're brought up by their parents, their dad, saying, you know what, stranger, that's somebody you just have, that's a friend you haven't met yet. What are we taught about strangers?
Stay away from them.
Don't talk to strangers. You go into work at a telemarketing company, and on your conscious brain, oh, I just need to go in and call strangers. On your non-conscious, little subconscious brain, what's the tape that's playing? Exactly. Okay, exactly. So it's like driving a car with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. I'm trying to be successful selling, but everybody's telling me to stop. Everybody's telling me to stop. And eventually you get frustrated, you quit. So one of the things that we teach, that you'll hear me say, is no doesn't mean stop. It means they just don't know that the right answer is yes. You didn't do something right. You didn't give me the facts. Because if I'm a person who needs your product and can afford your product, and I say I don't want it, that's because there's something I don't know. Whose fault is that?
Yours.
Yeah, okay, if you want me to hire you and I say no, but you're the right person for the job, I need you, I can afford you, you're the right person for the, come on in.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. Are you going to keep them to account?
I was waiting to find out what our break schedule is.
Okay. The first recall is at 10:15.
Okay.
So I usually give them, when I have a class, a break from 9:40 to 10:10.
Okay, perfect.
And then, so they'll have to, I do this, I print one out for them, but I'll print one for tomorrow. But
Okay.
they just sign the names and you guys will take it over to the bubble, control bubble. That's so they know you guys are here.
Okay, so let's take a break right now.
All right. So you guys make sure you sign that, and if you would take over the control unit one, they'll know you're on the account at 10:30 then. Cool.
Super. Okay. Let's take our break. Yes.
I mean, I like this class, I'm sorry. This class is good. How long this class gonna take for us?
Until you get a job.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we get a job.
How long does that, how long is that break, sir?
Till 10 after.
So we're not gonna go to 25?
You're here.
Well, okay, good.
So
So we get
do
a
we
job.
get-
I'm good on
do
that.
we
I'm
get
good on
days
that.
off for this or no?
Oops. Watch out.
I'm sorry.
Mr.
You
Director,
good?
What? Yes.
do we get time off for this or no?
What is that called? Good time or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
back
so.
from the back number 11.
I think so.
How many days is this
I
class?
don't know. Oh, the class?
I just want to know, I get my work
Monday
day.
through Friday.
5 days a week.
5 days a week?
So like a month without wait?
If you
Until
can
I
get a job tomorrow, you're out of here. It
So
takes
how
you
can,
16
okay, now how
weeks.
can I get a job? I mean, how?
Okay, so let's talk about that when we come back,
Okay.
because they're gonna ask the same question.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably could get a job quick, but I want like, I
One
mean,
comment, so
between me and you, I wanna work on the gas station.
We can't get it until we do it.
Until I get out of here, I'm gonna go